Hi, I'm Kaname. In this video, I'm going to talk about Sayonara. Sayonara literally means, if that's so. But in modern day Japanese, people use this word to say goodbye. Why in Japanese the phrase, if that's so, is used to say goodbye? People often say that when someone says sayonara, it gives you a feeling that you might not see the person ever again. Or it sounds like this person goes somewhere very far, so you won't be able to see the person again for a while. That is partially because sayonara is not a word that people casually use. When people say goodbye to their friends, people usually use phrases like じゃあね, またね, また明日ね. Usually no one uses the word sayonara to say goodbye. Only in some certain situation where you are supposed to speak formally. For example, students might say sayonara to their teachers. But when the students say, 先生, sayonara, it doesn't have the feeling that you won't see teacher again for a while. People use that when even they are expecting to see the teacher the next morning. So it's not that sayonara always has the feeling that you won't see the person ever again. It's just that sayonara is a bit formal word. So especially if a friend suddenly say to you, you might feel something is off. Same in English. Friends usually say, see ya, later. But if this person suddenly say with serious face, goodbye, my friend, you might feel something is off. Are you committing suicide? So why sayonara brings the feeling that you might not see the person again is because it's formal. Because it is not a phrase that people casually use. That being said, there might be another reason why this phrase sayonara has a little bit of sad vibe. You can see that if you understand why this phrase, if that's so, started being used as goodbye. I'm going to introduce to you one samurai story where they use this phrase, if that's so, to say goodbye. This story is from the Tale of Heike. The Tale of Heike is a collection of stories about the battle between Taira clan and the Minamoto clan that was compiled more than 700 years ago. In the Tale of Heike, there's a story about samurai lord Yoshinaka Minamoto, also known as Yoshinaka Kiso, story about his death. Before I start, let me explain the background knowledge of this story. So, the Lord Yoshinaka Kiso or Yoshinaka Minamoto, at that time, he brought his army to Kyoto. Because that time, his enemy clan, Taira, was occupying Kyoto. Yoshinaka wanted to expel Taira clan from Kyoto. He succeeded in driving Taira clan out of Kyoto and he captured Kyoto. But that time, Yoshinaka has a problem. His cousin, Yoritomo Minamoto, who later becomes the first shogun of Kamakura government, doesn't like that Yoshinaka was gaining power. And also that time, the emperor, Goshirakawa, had some trouble with Yoshinaka. So they both attempted to kill Yoshinaka. So Yoritomo sent his army to Kyoto to kill him. And as a result, Yoritomo army succeeded in driving Yoshinaka and his army out of Kyoto, and they were chasing Yoshinaka so that they can kill him. Yoshinaka's army was scattered, and he was chased by Yoritomo's army. And Yoshinaka, he reunited with his very loyal subordinate, Kanehira. Kanehira was his loyal subordinate. At the same time, he was Yoshinaka's foster brother and his best friend. But at last, all of Yoshinaka's subordinates other than Kanehira were either killed or driven away from Yoshinaka. And at last, only Yoshinaka and Kanehira remained. That's where this story starts. Since the story is written in old form of Japanese, so the language I'm going to speak will be quite different from modern day Japanese. So in this story, they use old form of sayonara, which is saraba. So while listening to this story, you can pay attention to how this word さらば is used. 今井の四郎、木曽殿、主従二期になってのたまいけるわ。日頃は何とも覚えぬ鎧が、今日は重うなったるぞや。今井の四郎申しけるわ。御身も未だ疲れさせたまわず、御馬も弱りそうらわず、何によってか一両の御着せ長を思うはおぼしめし候べき。それは味方に音声がそうらわねば、臆病でこそ差はおぼしめしそうらえ。金平一人候とも、世の武者千義とおぼしめせ。や七つやつそうらえば、しばらく防ぎやつかまつらん。あれに見え候、あわずの松原と申す。あの松の中でご自害そうらえ。とて、打ってゆくほどに、また新手の武者50騎ばかりいできたり。君はあの松原へいらせたまえ。金平はこの敵防ぎそうらわん、と申しければ。木曽殿のたまいけるは。義仲都にていかにもなりべかりつるが、これまで逃れ来るは、汝と一緒で死なんと思うためなり。ところどころで打たれんよりも、ひとところでこそ討ち死にをもせめ。とて、馬の鼻を並べてかけんとしたまえば、今井の城、馬より飛びより、主の馬の口に取りついて申しけるわ。弓矢取りは、年頃日頃、いかなる巧妙そうらえども、最後の時深くしつれば、長き傷にて候なり。御身は疲れさせたまいて候、続く生はそうらわず。仇に押し隔てられ、誘拐なき人、労働に組み落とさせたまいて、打たれさせたまいなば、さばかり日本国に聞こえさせたまいつる木曽殿おば、それがしが労働の打ち立てまったる、何度申さんことこそ口をしゅうそうらえ。ただ、あの松原へいらせたまえ。と申しければ、木曽、さらば、とて、あわずの松原へぞかけたもう。And after that he went into the forest, but his horse was stuck in the mud. His enemy caught up with him, and he was killed by someone with no name. In Japan, especially in samurai view of the word, 執着, obsession is seen as very ugly behavior. On the contrary, 潔さ is a great virtue. 潔さ is a quality of a person when it is necessary. You forego the things you wanted very much. A great example is, you want to live, but when the time comes, you got to accept death gracefully. So they often use cherry blossom as a metaphor. Just like petals of cherry blossoms fall from tree, samurai also need to die gracefully. When the death comes to you, you shouldn't struggle. You should accept it gracefully, just like those petals of cherry blossoms fall from a tree. The scenery of falling petal is beautiful, so is an honorable death. So that's why in Japanese people use the word chiru when someone died gracefully. Chiru means falling of petals or falling of leaves. So in Japan, falling of flowers or leaves is the symbol of graceful death. So as you can see from this story, Yoshinaka didn't want to leave his friend Kanehira. He'd rather die together with him. But Kanehira explained to him that he needed to go into the forest and kill himself gracefully, rather than being killed by someone with no name. Yoshinaka needed to forego what he wanted, which is he wanted to be together with Kanehira. But instead, he had to accept his fate. That's when he said, if that's the case, saraba. So the word saraba or sayonara has this feeling that you are letting something that is very important to you go. You forego something that is very important to you. So this word saraba or sayonara has this hidden connotation that it is not what I wished for. I don't want to leave you, but the situation or the destiny doesn't allow me to stay with you. Maybe that's one of the reasons why this word sayonara has such a sad vibe. それでは皆さん、さようなら。